Okay, in this video we're going to use Trillion. Now, a lot of people think these things are no good. Sorry, you're wrong. I think they're great. This and Spectrasonics' Omnisphere, awesome. But anyway, enough of that. So, Trillion. Default patch sounds great. Now that is a chunky saw wave, that'll do nicely, and it happens to be the ARP 2600. And a TR sine wave is in there as well, but don't worry about that because B's not on. I can add it to add that extra depth of bass, but I don't want to. And again, we're just going to use the amplitude filter envelope, and the filter envelope, and of course the filter. So we've got the oscillator playing this 2600 sampled sawtooth wave. We need to add a filter. We will add a low pass basic. And we'll take the envelope right off. I reckon that's one of the best sounds straight away. We'll just leave the velocity curve as normal. But we'll mess around. Again, I like to zero out the amp envelope. That'll do. And the filter envelope as well. Okay, so again, just basic settings here. Basic. I'm not doing anything fancy, nothing at all. It's just easy. It's also down an octave, but that's by default. So I'm just going to mess around with the envelope amount, that's the filter envelope, and the cutoff to get a decent sound. Okay, let's add some velocity to that. Let's do the good old. It's lovely and crunchy. And now I'll mess around with the filter and whatnot again. And if I wanted to, I could go in and add wicked bass at the bottom there. But we would need to kind of shorten that a bit. Obviously there's not going to be a filter because it's a sine wave. There's nothing to filter out. And you can mix them both in like that, but I'm not going to do that because I haven't done that with anything else. However, I am going to take this one a little bit further. Let's just hear what that sounds like on a nice kind of single. Okay, so that's a nice kind of deep bass, a deeper kind of bass than this kind of full-on stuff. But I'm just going to show you some other stuff because it's all been very basic from now up. I haven't really added anything. Now let's do a little bit of EQing and whatnot. I'm going to use my favourite EQ, which is my FabFilter one. And let's just tidy it up a little bit. I'm going to kill everything below 30 Hz. And now I'm going to get rid of some of the highs that we don't need. See, there's nothing here, so I might as well tidy it up. And you can do all kinds of great things with this EQ as well, like mid and side and whatnot. So yeah, for instance, channel mode left and right, so I could split it into left and right if I wanted. So left, it's the right, but we don't really want to do that. That's not really much fun. But what you might want to look at is mid-side. That's the mid. It's the side. So it's up to you really. I'm not going to get too complicated with this. Just give it a quick EQ. I like that, it's nice and crunchy. Okay, so that's just a quick EQ, but there's loads of other things you can do, of course, to your bass. We can compress it. This is me just going crazy. Fast attack. Just get the peaks off of it, I think. Not that there is many. It's a nice sound, you know. And depending on what tools you've got, you can get really fancy with your stuff, you know. You can add all kinds of things. For instance, I have some Waves plugins that are obscene. Okay, this is the Chris Lord-Alge bass plugin from Waves. It is a monster, and and you need to be really careful when you use it because it can cause utter chaos. But I'll show you just briefly. So, sub bass. In fact, let me just put the other one on. Okay, this is the stereo version. Now, this is what it sounds like when you first put the plugin on. It's already got all of this stuff, and it's just zeroed out, but it still affects the sound. Check this. Okay, but we want that off, that off, that off, and that off. So. feel that sub bass coming in. And then I've changed this one to lower bass. Here it comes. You can just feel that. And you can mess around with the other settings as well. You know, like distortion. Output's too high now. And treble if you really wanted to. Compress. Although I wouldn't do that. I normally just mess with them. And it's just added that underlying bass that just wants to chew your face off. Yeah. And you could even widen it if you wanted it artificially. And you could, for instance, in Cubase, I can come in here, change the stereo combined banner, and make it a true mono signal. Let me just press play first. Oh, bugger. Then again, you'd have to mess around with all of this again. But it's really up to you, you know. But that's just a few other things you can do. And I love these tools. I think they're fantastic. They're expensive. But you can get educational discounts and stuff on them. But they're great. Okay, that's it for the bass in Trillion. Thanks a lot for watching.